You said, big brother, what's up, man?
Peace, what's going on? What's going on? That was me earlier with reverb. I apologize for that.
Oh, no.
But I was listening to the show, and I had to chime in on this particular subject. Y'all was talking about suing the straw man, individuals out there selling packages, sue the straw man. You know, first of all, a lot of these guys are new. Some of them, they publicly admitted they used to follow myself and Jonah and a couple of other individuals, and which I find very curious is that, you know, how guys turn around and, you know, start doing things and attempting to discredit other people, and they used to, you know, listen and from the very people they was learning from. I mean, it was just weird. But, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and for the longest, you know, people have been attempting to do something similar to what they're attempting to do. I mean, they basically have taken other people's processes, and I can't believe I looked over there and I saw they were still selling the Minnesota Rule 220 they got on their website. I was just like, you know, can you do is read? But the thing is what was really interesting is that, you know, a lot of people have attempted to get money from these accounts. I think I was listening to a show where guys was talking about, you know, why are you saying ain't no money in these accounts? I'm like, dude, you know, before I got involved in this, everybody's been trying, you know, I've been doing this for at least 10 years, and a lot of people who are a lot more intelligent than these guys have been attempting to get this money out of these accounts, these birth certificate accounts. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, some of the people I've been watching for years, sue the straw man is not anything new. It's been around forever and a day. And, you know, a lot of stuff in these commercial processes, you're going to find it's a cornucopia of individuals out there teaching different things. And this is something I was really curious about, too, is that there's a lady on YouTube. Her name is Joanna. I don't know if do y'all know who I'm talking about? She has she teaches Secure Party, and she got like 1.8 million hits. And I was saying, well, damn, if these guys just really don't like Secure Party, why aren't they over there, you know, harassing her? She got like 1.8 million viewers. She out there teaching Secure Party to. I thought it was just curious. And what you have in here is you have a lot of people, you know, they're biting off other people and different things, but a lot of this stuff, and none of it is new. All of it around this birth certificate and things like that, you know, if you've been in it as long as I have, they all have been attempting to do things. And I'm going to tell you what I noticed. What I noticed is people wasting a lot of time in their life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I appreciate a show like this, the foundation, and what you guys are doing, because we got to get back to business. It's doing straight up, this is commerce, and get involved in commerce, making money, building your communities, and, you know, getting your mind right. This most of this Secure Party stuff was really put out for protection, and it basically went into some other stuff, you know, just over time. People trying to buy cars and houses and discharge utility bills and all kind of things, kind of like just morphed into that. But its original intent was to serve as a purpose just as protection. In no kind of way were there any indications on there that, you know, this is for your enrichment and, you know, different things like that. It was for discharging criminal cases and things of that nature. And, it, you know, it just grew into a lot of other things based off theories and so forth. And I think a lot of people have gotten away from or lost sight of a lot of different things. And as we need to get back to business. So I'm going to sit back. I'm gonna listen to y'all brothers, chop it up today. You know, y'all been doing great. You know, I go back and listen to y'all shows. Shows are great. And I just want to give both of you a shout-out. Y'all are always giving me a shout-out. And I want to give both of you brothers a shout-out for the wonderful job both of you have been doing. And I appreciate it, okay? And I'm gonna close my mic and let y'all take it away.
Wow. That's what's up. Appreciate it, big brother Yusuf, man. Fringe benefits, Commerciavelli, the war, commercial warfare against you. Last episode was War of Avatars through this fringe benefits dance. Like I said, reading, we got the Employer's Tax Guide to Fringe Benefits. This is Internal Revenue Service publication 15B. If you notice the logo for the Internal Revenue Service, it's got an eagle and it got scales, and the scales are balanced. Even Justice with the blindfold ain't got a balanced scales, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you ask me, that's the commercial realm, and that's what we're in. Check this out. We're doing the fringe benefits. Publication 15B. Now, there's some other publications that I may or may not get into with regards to the Commerciavelli series. Those of note, if you're writing this stuff down. Publication 1586, 1586, as well as publication 515. Very important things to read. Just check them out, man. You ain't got to be a guru with this information. You just need to know what's going down so you can take, the proper benefits. So I'm going to get into this. I have this printed out, you know what I'm saying? I like physical copies. I don't really like too much of them electronic copies. Turning pages.
And just to let everybody know, the IRS will send you these publications that he's mentioning in the mail for free. All you got to do is contact the IRS, and they'll send you these documents for free in the mail for free.
Exactly. They will. Give them a call. Don't be afraid of them, man. I call them all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get to know you and they're your friend, especially if you're dealing with situations where, like Yusuf said, you're a secure party. I don't want to deviate too much. Fringe benefit. Section 1. A fringe benefit is a form of pay for the performance of services. Okay? It's a form of pay for the performance of services. For example, you provide an employee with a fringe benefit when you allow the employee to use business vehicle to commute to and from work. I like it. Performance of services. A person who performs services for you doesn't have to be your employee. A person may perform services for you as an independent contractor. 1099, y'all. You can be a 1099 employee and still take advantage of fringe benefits. Right. Also, for fringe benefit purposes, treat a person who agrees not to perform services, such as under a covenant not to compete, as performance services. So if you sign a non-compete clause, you're entitled to some fringe benefits that may or may not be in your contract. We'll get to that. The person who performs services for you is considered the recipient of a fringe benefit provided for those services. That person may be considered the recipient even if the benefit is provided to someone who didn't perform the services. For example, your employee may be the recipient of a fringe benefit you provide to a member of the employee's family. Fringe benefits may be applied to a member of the employee's family. And once again, employee also means contract employee or contractor. 1099. Are fringe benefits taxable? Any fringe benefit you provide is taxable and must be included in the recipient's pay unless the law specifically excludes it. Section 2 discusses the exclusions that apply to certain fringe benefits. Blah, 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 blah. Sounds like I need to go to Section 2 because that's what we're talking about in this Commerciavelli series. Fringe benefit exclusion rules. This section discusses the exclusion rules that apply to fringe benefits. These rules exclude all or part of the value of certain benefits from the recipient's pay. These rules exclude all or part of the value of certain benefits from the recipient's pay. You ain't got to claim it on an individual tax, 1040. And that's where most of us are at, right? We're trying to, mosey on to the other side. The excluded benefits aren't subject to federal income tax withholding. Also, in most cases, they aren't subject to Social Security. They are not subject to Medicare. They are not subject to federal unemployment taxes or railroad retirement tax. and aren't reported on the Form W-2. You do not report them on Form W-2. If you're a W-2 employee, you got some children, you want to claim them on the tax form, these fringe benefits will not offset. I will say no more. This section discusses the exclusion rules for the following fringe benefits. Here we go. These are not included on the 1040. Goes alphabetically. Accident and health benefits, achievement awards, adoption assistance, athletic facilities, de minimis benefits. I'll touch on that. Dependent care assistance. All y'all got children, we be having seeds, you know what I'm saying? You got daycare services, excluded. Educational assistance. Employee discounts, like, I don't know, you run a cleaning service, you can offer an employee discount to yourself and to the family for cleaning service. Just an example. Employee stock options, these are all excluded. Employer provided cell phones. Group term life insurance, health savings accounts. Lodging on your business premises. Meals, moving expenses, no additional cost services, retirement planning services, no additional cost services. I'm gonna ride with that because I like that one. Retirement planning services, trust, family estate, retirement services, transportation, commuting benefits, tuition reduction, and working condition benefits. So, to start with, accident and health benefits. You get an accident or a health plan. Contributions to the cost of an accident or health insurance, including qualified long-term care insurance. Contributions to a separate trust or fund that directly or through insurance provides accident or health benefits. This exclusion applies to the contributions you make to an accident or health plan for an employee, including the following. Contributions to a separate trust or fund that directly or through insurance provides accident or health benefits. These are excluded. This exclusion also applies to payments you directly or indirectly make to an employee under the accident or health plan or blah, blah, blah. Read this. We got to read this. I don't want to say blah, blah, blah like it doesn't matter. I just don't want to take up too much time. I want to get through what I want to get through because I don't want to read the whole show. You know what I'm saying? Achievement awards.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You actually are, as you get ready to read the next one, I was like, he's reading down what the words our people need to aspire to know so they can start setting up achievement awards for themselves and it be a tax write-off. This is what intelligent and wealthy people do. So Soda's getting ready to go down a list of words and tell you how to use those words in Commerciavelli. So go ahead, So.
Achievement awards, fringe benefits. This exclusion applies to the value of any tangible personal property you give to an employee as an award for either length of service or safety achievement. You've been with the company 60 days. Congratulations. There you go. Personal property, tangible. The exclusion does not apply to awards of cash equivalents, gift certificates, or other intangible property such as vacations, meals, lodging, tickets, the theater, sporting events, stock, bonds, or other securities. So when you get a cash bonus on your check, and then you look at the W-2 and they took all them tax, man, what? You gave me a bonus of $200, man. After taxes, only got like $68, man. That type of achievement award is not excluded. For this exclusion, treat the following individual as employees: a current employee, a former common law employee you maintain coverage for in consideration or based on an agreement relating to prior service as an employee. Yo, let me say that again, yo. A former common law employee you maintain coverage for in consideration of or based on an agreement relating to prior service as an employee. Article 1, Section 10. No state shall pass any law
impair no obligation to contracts.
I just wanted to sink in. Thank you very much. A leased employee who has provided services to you on a substantially full-time basis for at least a year if the services are performed under your primary direction or control. So two of these individuals that can be treated as employees under this exclusion don't even have to work there. They're spoken of in past tense. Adoption assistance. Oh, hold on. Let me go into these achievement, accident, and benefits. So let's say you organize a corporation, and this is all from the standpoint of you organizing a corporation. Let's say you organize a corporation. We've gotten through achievement awards, and I said adoption insurance, okay? Accident and health benefits. Achievement awards, you can exempt up to $1,600. So you can gift the company because you contract with the company because you organize or you act in a certain capacity, can gift you personal property, tangible property up to $1,600. It can be anything from a computer to a bucket car. It's interesting. Adoption is assistance. I can help you out with that. Certain gifts for adoption assistance do not have to be claimed on the personal tax form. Let me get into de minimis benefits. You can exclude the value of a de minimis benefit you provide to an employee from the employee's wages. A de minimis benefit is any property or service you provide to an employee that has so little value that accounting for it would be unreasonable or administratively impractical. But cash and cash equivalent fringe benefits, no matter how little, are never excluded. Okay? But here's some examples. Personal use of an employer-provided cell phone. Occasional use of a company copy machine, home-based business, y'all. Holiday gifts other than cash with a low fair market value. Group term life insurance payable upon death with the dependent face amount isn't more than $2,000. We got meals in here, occasional parties or picnics for employees and their guests. That's why sometimes you go to a company picnic, so on and so forth. Occasional tickets for theater or sporting events. Occasional tickets for theater or sporting events is a de minimis benefit as the administrator or an executive of a corporation, or if they want to allow this to go to the employees. Usually they don't. Dependent care assistance. This exclusion applies to household and dependent care services you directly or indirectly pay for or provide to an employee under a dependent care assistance program that covers only your employees. Once again, treat the following individual as an employee: a current employee, a leased employee who's provided services to you on a substantially full-time basis for at least a year if the services are performed under your primary direction or control, yourself, a partner who performs services for a partnership. You need a partner. 50-50. Child care assistance. Educational assistance. Educational assistance means amounts you pay or incur for your employees' education expenses. These expenses include the cost of a course or other education involving I skipped a line, my bad. These expenses generally include the cost of books, equipment, fees, supplies, and tuition. However, these expenses don't include the cost of the course or other education involving sports, games, or hobbies unless the education has a reasonable relationship to the business or is required as a part of a degree or program. These expenses generally include costs of books, equipment, fees, supplies, and tuition. What if you went to an educational seminar and taught you how to, administer a corporation better, as well as arrange your financial affairs privately and publicly? Like March 24th in Dallas, High Frequency Radio Network. Employee discounts.
Bro, it's the 25th, bro.
My bad, the 25th. I'm going to write that
25th.
down. I ain't going to have you yelling at me.
I'm not yelling at you, bro. I'm just saying what it is.
I'm just playing.
You funny, man. They don't mind.
We got employee discounts. This exclusion applies to a price reduction you give an employee on property or services you offer to customers in ordinary course of line of business. Yo, what if you run a real estate investment company or a real estate corporation or some sort of sala, and you offer employee discounts on houses or rent at certain, properties? Crazy, huh? However, it doesn't apply to discounts on real property.
We could put people in the house.
But hold on. However, it doesn't apply to discounts on real property or discounts on personal property of a kind commonly held for investment, such as stocks or bonds. So, because you can't do the real property. So I guess you can't do a house, but you can do employee discount on rent of that house, right?
Yeah, that's how you would set it up. Basically, they would be an employee of the crib. They wouldn't even be like, it's not personal. It's just all business. Like, they would be supposedly the caretaker of the property, but they would be paying. It's crazy. It's like, so damn, are you going to get paid to be, pretty much you be a property manager. And that's how it would run. But that takes a lot of sophistication. That means everybody's up to speed. They know how to play their position. If you're the property manager, you're doing that. If you're the trust manager running the trust that's managing the properties, you're managing that. And you all have the network to make sure that the properties are running well. It's a very sophisticated network that will be established there to really make sure that what you're pulling off is working and that it is going to work, in my humble opinion. Just because, that's an ingenious idea to say, okay, I'm going to get properties and I'm only going to put property managers in them. And people, you can have your family there. Listen to what he's saying. As an employee, you can have the property being paid for as an employee with the Minimus, but also you can be paid as an employee to be a manager of the property. And this is how you become and get that so-called discount. It's ingenious. I love it, so.
Absolutely. So far we got achievement awards, adoption assistance, athletic facilities. Man, did I skip that? I did, didn't I? Athletic facilities. You can exclude the value of an employee's use of an on-premises gym or other athletic facility you operate from an employee's wages, which is essentially all of the use in the facility. So you see, these corporations that have, workout rooms on the premises. So you can exclude that as well. So we got that. We got the Minimus. We went over that. Dependent care assistance and educational assistance. Employee discount. So dependent care assistance is exempt up to certain limits of $5, and then it's a comma, and then $5,000. But what it says is it doesn't apply to highly compensated employees under a program that favors employees. You got to make sure that everybody gets the same treatment. Because as long as you have more than one or more than two employees and they all get the same treatment, it's exempt. Educational assistance per year is $5,250. So this is an exempt. This is a benefit. So that's over $10,000 just with those two that's not reported on your taxable income. Keeping it moving, employee stock options. This might be a little bit higher than the foundation level I'm trying to keep at. Let's just say structure, S Corp, C Corp. There's specific rules, 2% rule specifically. You might want to check that out with the employee stock options. But there are three kinds of stock options: incentive stock options, employee stock purchase plan options, and non-statutory stock options. So they break them down into three different categories: wages for Social Security, Medicare, so on and so forth. Don't include remuneration resulting from the exercise of an incentive stock. I don't want to get into that. You know what I'm saying? But employee stock options. So employee stock purchase plan. You're purchasing the stock as an employee at a discounted rate that would, a normal person on the General Security Exchange or whatever would have to pay for it. That's cool. Incentive stock options. So you get certain stock if you reach certain goals, bring in 40 customers, 500 customers, finish the books by the 5th. I don't know. That's all within the bylaws, the corporate bylaws, and up to the statutes of the state jurisdiction where it was incorporated. Employer-provided cell phones. This is the one right here. The value of an employer-provided cell phone provided primarily for non-compensatory business reasons is excluded from an employee's income as a working condition fringe benefit. Personal use of an employer-provided cell phone provided primarily for non-compensatory business reasons is excluded from an employee's income as a de minimis fringe benefit. So you got a cell phone in the company name and you use it for business use. Even if you use it for personal use, that's a de minimis benefit. A de minimis benefit, once again, is a benefit that would basically be it's so little of value. It's not worth keeping track of it. So you're not supposed to be expected to keep track of how many minutes you use for your personal use versus how many minutes you use for your business use, and then you forward that to me, and then I'm gonna pay somebody as an employer to figure out what the minutes are. You ain't got time to be worried about that. That's a de minimis, and that's where that goes. So an employer-provided cell phone, that's the cell phone itself plus the cost of the service. Cell phones provided to promote goodwill, boost morale, or attract prospective employees. You can't exclude those. So the need to contact the employee at all times for work-related emergencies, requirement that the employee be available to speak with clients at all times when the employee is away from the office, and need to speak with clients located in or other time zones at times outside the employee's normal workday. That's why my cell phone is a fringe benefit. Group term life insurance. This exclusion applies to life insurance coverage that meets all of the following conditions. It provides a general death benefit that isn't included in income. You provide it to a group of employees. Got to be a group. There's a 10-employee rule. P.S. Hire family members. It provides an amount of insurance to each employee based on a formula that prevents individual selection. This formula must use factors such as employee's age, years of service, pay, or position. It can't, discriminate. You provide it under policy. You directly or indirectly carry. It's got to be a policy that's under the name of the business. You can treat a current common law employee. You treat them as an employee for this exclusion. A full-time life insurance agent who is current statutory employee. An individual who is formerly your employee under definition 1 or 2. and a leased employee who has provided services to you. And remember, 1 and 2, one of those was a common law employee for consideration. And then it goes into how to break that down. We also got a health savings account. This is an account owned by a qualified individual who is generally your employee or a former employee. Any contributions that you make to an HSA, health savings account, become the employee's property and can't be withdrawn by you. Contributions to the account are used to pay current or future medical expenses of the account owner, his or her spouse, or any qualified dependent. Your family, yo. The medical expenses must not be reimbursable by insurance or other sources, and their payment from the HSA funds. The distribution won't give rise to medical expense deductions. But you can't claim the payments on your 1040 that you make from an HSA savings account. Is basically what that's saying. So the corporation, as a fringe benefit, creates a health savings account in the name of the employee, which the employee owns, and there are monies deposited in this account for the employee and the employee's spouse and dependents for health reasons. That's deep. And the grand finale is the end when I come to an end. You know what I'm saying? But what am I at? Savings accounts. They have contribution limits for that. You know, obviously, there's always contribution limits. But, you know, like I said, we talked about 2 exclusions that equaled up to over $10,000. So, you know, we're getting in there. Go back. So we went over accident and health benefits, achievement awards, adoption assistance, athletic facilities, de minimis benefits, which is a cell phone service, dependent care assistance, child care, daycare, educational assistance, educational seminars, college courses, books that educational, employee discounts on services or certain products that the company offers, employee stock options. Those can be performance-based stock options, employer-provided cell phones, group term life insurance, health savings account. Moving on to lodging on your business premises. So if you renting a commercial space, if you're able, if your corporation can handle this expense, you're renting a commercial space. That commercial space, maybe has the windows at the bottom. Barbershops do this a lot. And then in the top, it's a little 1-bedroom or two-bedroom, for the owner or the lessee of the building to live. The refrigerator, got a stove up in there, there's gas, shower. They might have it decked out, might have the flat screen. You know what I'm saying? Might be popping in there with the incense, the shades burning. I'm just playing, but you know what I'm saying. That is lodging on your business, and that lodging is excluded from reportable income on a 1040 return specifically. You can exclude the value of lodging you furnish to an employee from the employee's wages if it meets the following test. It is furnished on your business premises. With the example I gave you, check. It is furnished for your convenience. With the example I gave you, check. The employee must accept it as a condition of the employment. The employee must accept it. Like, look, you ain't getting hired here unless you live here for free. I don't know, man. Let me think about it, bro. Think about it.
Offer and accept.
Give me a couple days to think about it. And that's also one of the, one of the lines. It's a very similar line that I agreed to in the trust industry that I signed on to administrate private. And that's, I signed a non-disclosure agreement, so that's all I'm going to say. Different tests may apply to lodging furnished by educational institutions. This exclusion doesn't apply if you allow your employee to choose to receive additional pay instead of lodging. Like, if you don't stay here, we'll just give you extra $600. Well, then you can't exclude that. De minimis meals, we're going to move on to meals. You can exclude any occasional meal you provide to an employee if it has so little value that accounting for it will be unreasonable or administratively impractical. This exclusion applies, for example, to the following items: coffee, donuts, and soft drinks. I'll take the coffee. You can keep everything else. Occasional meals or meal money provided to enable an employee to work overtime. However, the exclusion doesn't apply to a meal money figured in on the basis of hours worked. Occasional parties or picnics for their employees and guests. So, we're talking about occasional meals. I don't know. I guess I'd have to look to determine what occasional is. But then, we got meals on your business premise. And if you do contract work and you're on site, that's your business premise. You can exclude the value of meals you furnish to an employee for the employee's wages if they meet the following tests. They are furnished on your business premises. Like I said, if you're on site, that's on premises. They are furnished for your convenience. Yeah.
So, that's just like saying, a Uber driver or a Lyft driver, since they're in their car, they could go through the drive-thru, and since their car is their business premises, they could go through the drive-thru with their car and eat, and it's literally, the drive-thru is their business premises. That was a good one right there. That was a good one.
I like that one. Meals after hours. Meals you furnish to an employee immediately after working hours are furnished for your convenience if you would have furnished them during working hours. So if you just got off work, you worked a couple hours, like I would have ate, but, it was more convenient to finish the work than get some food. For substantial non-paid business reason, but because of the work duties, they weren't eaten during work hours. You know what I'm saying? They just kept reading. Meals you furnish to promote goodwill, boost morale, or attract prospective employees aren't considered furnished for your convenience. However, you may be able to exclude their value as discussed under de minimis meals. Remember what I said? We got S corporation shareholder employee. For the exclusion, don't treat a 2% shareholder as an S corporation of an S corporation as an employee of the corporation. A 2% shareholder is someone who directly or indirectly owns more than 2% of the corporation's stock, or stock with more than 2% of the voting power. So you want to delegate the voting power, or have the corporation be owned with a private trust. We got moving expense reimbursements. You move across country, you can move across town, you can move across the street. This exclusion applies to any amount you directly or indirectly give to an employee, including services furnished in kind as payment for or reimbursement of moving expenses. Deductible moving expenses include only the reasonable expenses of moving household goods or personal effects from the former home to a new home, traveling, including lodging from the former home to the new home, so the hotel on the way. They don't include expenses for meals and must meet both the distance test and the time test. You got to check out the distance and the time test. Maybe I was tripping when I said across the street. No additional cost services. This exclusion applies to a service you provide to an employee if it doesn't cause you to incur any substantial additional costs. This service must be offered to customers in the ordinary course of the line of business in which the employee performs substantial services. Generally, no additional cost services are excess capacity services. So, like, if you work for an airline and they're like, yo, we got some extra tickets, it don't cost us nothing to give it to you, here you go. Or, train tickets, hotel rooms, or telephone services provided free or at a reduced price to employees working in those lines of business. So if that's what you're already doing with your business and there's no additional cost to you or the business specifically, that can be excluded from reported income. We got retirement planning services you may exclude from an employee's wages the value of any retirement plan or service. Advice or information you provide to your employee or his or her spouse if you maintain a qualified retirement plan is defined as Section 219G5 of the Internal Revenue Code. So you got to check that out. So retirement planning, that can be trust in the state. 401k, what you going to do with your stock options and all that. Transportation. The section discusses, and here's where we get deep, in my opinion. The section discusses exclusion rules that apply to the benefits you provide to your employees for their personal transportation, such as commuting to work, to and from. These rules apply to the following transportation benefits: de minimis transportation and qualified transportation benefits. De minimis transportation benefit is any local transportation benefit you provide to an employee if it has so little value that accounting for it will be unreasonable, administratively impractical. It applies to occasional transportation because the employee is working overtime if the benefit is reasonable. Qualified transportation, a ride in a commuter highway vehicle between the employee's home and work. A ride in a commuter highway vehicle. I like the way they worded that because that's just a company car, in my opinion. A transit pass, qualified parking, qualified bicycle commuting reimbursement. So company cars and their use of are excluded. That's why, years and years ago, I put the title in the name of the LLC and let them get the parking tickets. Let that LLC get those. And it was ill because I got a letter from the state, DMV, threatening to take the corporation's license. It's a crazy thing. I still got it, too. That was one of the eye-openers for me. Working condition benefits can be excluded. Property and services you provide to the employee so that the employee can perform his or her job. Use of company car for business. An employer-provided cell phone also applies to the cash payment you provide to an employee's expense for a specific or prearranged business activity for which the deduction is otherwise allowable to the employee. You must require that the employee to verify the payment is actually used for the expenses and return any unused part of the payment. Sounds like company trips to me, yo. Going to company excursion. It doesn't apply to flexible spending account, a physical examination program you provide, any item to the extent that the employee could deduct the cost as an expense for a trade or business other than your trade or business. So they can't be able to deduct the same deduction on their taxes. And, if you're a minister in a corporation, why would you? Qualified non-personal use vehicles. And then they talk about vans, clearly marked through painted insignia or words, police, fire, public safety vehicles, unmarked vehicles used by law enforcement, an ambulance or a hearse, a vehicle, and they go through all this, right? That's non-personal, qualified. But I just want to point back to qualified transportation, the first one, on page 19. A ride in a commuter highway vehicle between the employee's home or workplace, which is a company car. You ain't got to be fired. Most people read this and they be like, "Oh, I ain't got none of these. I ain't got a delivery truck with a seating for the driver only. I don't have a cargo vehicle with a weight over 14,000 pounds, and they got a passenger bus, capacity of 20 passengers, school buses, tractors, bucket trucks, cement mixers." So most people, most of my brothers and sisters read this and they see this part and they don't read the part on page 19 where in this really interesting wording, a qualified transportation benefit is a ride in a commuter highway vehicle between the employee's home and the workplace. And you can designate it a commuter highway vehicle, a corporate titled commuter highway vehicle in the corporate bylaws. Education. Certain job-related education you provide to an employee may qualify for exclusion as a working condition benefit. The education is required by the employer or by law. The education maintains or improves the skills needed to the job. So, like, in my field, you know, in Sharif's field, in Yusuf's field, I'm just going to speak for my immediate team who I know or do believe is still on the call. You know, we do continuing education in our fields that is definitely a fringe benefit. After that, we go into fringe benefit valuation rules. And, you know, honestly, I'm going to leave that to y'all. Once again, this is the foundation. You're just tuning in on highfrequencyradionetwork.com. If you know, for the website, High Frequency Radio Network. The foundation, this is the Commerciavelli series. This episode of the series is fringe benefits. We just went through the main fringe benefits with regards to administering a corporation. I'm going to tell you this. You don't own a corporation. If you're on the line, please correct me if I'm incorrect, because I don't like to be wrong. You don't own a corporation. The state that you organize that corporation in owns that corporation. Period. They're the owner, and they delegated the bookkeepers, the IRS. Now, you're an organizer, and according to the bylaws and any specific employment contract, whether it's a W-2 or a 1099 contractor, within that contract, you can be allowed fringe benefits. Now, as an organizer of a corporation, why would you not allow yourself these fringe benefits? I don't know. Main benefits: company car, company cell phone, meals, lodging on the company premises, employee discounts, stock options, health savings accounts that the employee owns once the money is deposited, accident and health benefits, achievement awards, adoption assistance, the Minimus benefits. I don't want to say anything else. Lodging on the business premises. Meals, moving expense reimbursement. No additional cost services. Don't cost your company any more money to provide this to your employee contract or W-2. Transportation benefits, company car. Tuition, reduction, and working condition benefits. Oh, for the condition of you working, let's say, to all my contractors out there, you organize a transportation company or a commuting company. You driving for Uber. That company makes enough money to buy another vehicle. It ain't got to be brand new. So, that's that new vehicle is a working condition benefit for any contract employee. As the organizer, I would suggest that be you. No ownership. You don't own it. The state on those articles of the organization or incorporation owns that. You don't do the accounting correctly. You don't understand at least one of these documents, or several of them, you might be in trouble. And not in trouble like the fact you're going to get audited or whatever. It's in trouble with the fact that you're claiming too much income on your tax return. Because not all of us can go straight private right now. I'm about to go private right now, you know what I'm saying? Call a guru, get my 9-8 number, do my birth certificate, and I'm out here. Not everyone can go private right away. So we got to deal with what is available to us. Some of us are W-2 employees, but we got dreams, we got hopes, we want to start our own business. Some of us are 1099 contract employees already. We just don't understand how to take advantage of these benefits. We're paying for these out of pocket. We're driving Uber and Lyft. We're paying for oil changes out of pocket. We're paying for new tires out of pocket. You know what I mean? We're paying for maintenance out of pocket. And not excluding that from the income and claiming that as a friend benefit. All this money is excluded from the income. You still receive the beneficial use of. Technically, it's yours as much as it can be yours. And when it comes to ownership, or if you got to do a W-2, or if you know what you're doing, you're pushing it to a trust or something like that. Anything that's left over for the taxation, that's what you're doing. But how much do you need? If you're not paying your cell phone bill every month, that's a corporate fringe benefit. How much you saving? If there's let's just say a substantial amount of meals that you're not paying every 30 days. If your company is providing a corporate car, there's even terms with regards to how they value company leases. So, corporate leases and stuff. If you're not building business credit, you can't take advantage of a lot of these benefits. Because all these benefits need to be titled in the name of the corporation, which means they need to be, the account needs to be in the name of the entity. So that means cell phone, such and such LLC, blah, 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 incorporated. And if you ask me, you administer that corporation from arm's length distance while accepting fringe benefits and feeling good because you out here and you're not feeling so many blows land. Little stresses up, you can move forward. We can move on to trust and estate and commerce, building websites, circulating currency. And it's easy. I just read pretty much the whole thing in less than an hour on the air. Y'all sat there with me. Instead of looking at the game, instead of looking at Facebook, instead of taking all these stupid selfies that make you look ridiculous to people like me and vain and egotistical, because you don't get no money for them pictures. Stars sell those pictures. Stars get those clothes for free. I used to get that stuff for free. I used to walk into a Nike distributor in New York or Chicago, whatever, and they'd be like, just grab whatever you want. So the consumers would buy. And I came home, and I'm here to let you know, man, this stuff is easy. It just takes application. You apply yourself every day to get up and go to work, to be there on time. You apply yourself every day to conduct your job so you do not get fired, so that you can keep that money coming in, and all those taxes being withheld. We slowly but surely build our own. Even if we don't quit our job, at least we got some supplemental income. At least we feeling better. At least we can get maybe some of our family members involved and scale this business and build this business to where we got something in our family, in our last name. Because that's what it's all about. With soap, it's about the last name. If you ain't here for your last name, hang up. Turn your internet off. Lay down. Go to sleep. Take your socks off. Put your feet in water. And go to sleep so you can pee on yourself and be embarrassed when you wake up. Because it's real out here. And Commerciavelli is not a game. And you've been in commercial welfare since you did your first action with that social. I don't care what you say. It's war. And why jump over here and kill y'all off when I can put you in commercial slavery and have y'all work for my whole thing anyways? Your whole nation. We put over $1 trillion into circulation every year while inflation is up. All the things that we apply to do because we can all the things that we apply and do because we have to, but then something that we don't have to do or we ain't getting paid to do. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. Shoop, everything closes up. If you can't, everything stops. You ain't thinking about how you can. You ain't thinking about how I should. You ain't thinking about, man, how can I just, man, what can I do? What can I do? You ain't creating. You ain't being a God. That's why we say peace to the gods, peace to the creators. Because we ain't sitting here just cool with roaches running around us. We ain't sitting here just cool with a weak car that we got to fix every other week and still make the payment on it. And we can't pay the insurance, so every time we see the police, heart is beating. Man, I can't get pulled over. They're going to tow the car, man. I can't get fired from the job. Wonder why we stressed, shoulders tight, angry, yelling at our children every day. Set up this way. In the foundation, we here just to let you know that you can do this. And I ain't trying to make it look all spooky and blah, 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 blah. It's very simple. Articles of organization is usually 2 pages, man. A filing fee and obtaining EIN for free on the IRS.gov website. You're in the game. Go open a bank account as a signer for a public corporation. Go home or go to a copy center, print out Form 8832. So that corporation is classified as a corporation on the federal level, because state and federal is different. Feel me? So the Fed don't call it a disregarded entity if it's a sole proprietorship. And this whole time you're doing fringe benefits and all this other stuff, and when the tax time comes, you got all these penalties and stuff, throw your hands up, throw it to the accountant. The accountant negotiate, do you your favor, get it down like 2-3 G's, but you still got to pay, like he did you a favor. Commerciavelli, an accountant's in there on the other side of Commerciavelli. We on the side getting warred on. I'm going to tell you this, man. I know Yusuf, I know Sharif, and I know myself, So L. We got to the other side of Commerciavelli and then came back. And we here trying to help. This is Cherry because we love y'all. Because I love y'all. Because everywhere I went on this planet, whether it was the Bahamas, Mazatlan, Mexico, Germany, Japan, France, London, Istanbul, Turkey, Denmark, people who look like me was at the bottom. I'm cool. So, the foundation, y'all, Commerciavelli, Fringe benefits. This is why you want to get your corporation popping. This is why. Publication 15B, Internal Revenue Service. You can hit up the IRS, they'll send it to you for free. You can do a search engine, Google or whatever. PDF, it'll come, you can download it, read it on the bus. Read it on your break while you chewing your food slowly. Read it when you're bored. Instead of hitting that Instagram or that Twitter thing or that Facebook Messenger, hit your little documents thing and read PDFs, man. Balance your life out. Get natural with your principles. How much time you spend doing stuff that don't serve you, that don't serve your family. And I'm supposed to respect you, I love you. So how am I supposed to respect you? I ain't talking mess. Let's get it together, man. Check this publication out. This is for the use of 2016, so I guess mine's a year old. So get the updated version, and check out those other publications I said earlier that are worth looking at. Publication 1586, publication 515. These are in line with corporations. Just get a general idea of what's popping. Then you hire, which is a corporate expense, an accountant to handle it. You need to know what's popping because you got to bring the corporate bylaws to them. You got to bring the operating agreement to them. You got to bring the contract to them that shows that this employee, you, is eligible for these benefits because it's in their employment contract. Executed, which means signed and dated, fool. You got to bring that to your accountant. You don't bring that to your accountant, they must file the other form, man. Disregarded entity. And they're not going to tell you. Period. I went in, man. Sharif, what's good, man? You good?
I'm perfect, man. Yeah, you letting them know what it is right now.
424-222-5250. Call in, man. I'm going to open up the lines for question and answer. We got Yusuf L. on the foundation. We got Sharif Ali on the foundation this evening. We got So L on the foundation this evening. You got any questions, foundational questions? How you going to get this popping? How you going to take advantage of these fringe benefits? How are you taking advantage of these fringe benefits? Questions and comments, 424-222-5250. Press 1 on your keypad. Yusuf, you got your hand up, man. I know you can bring yourself in whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm listening right now. Don't you have like you got somebody in queue right there, 4911.
All right, first caller, 781-4911. 718-4911. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace. Peace. It's Dal from Brownsville. Peace, Yusuf L. Peace, Sharif Ali, and peace to L. I spoke to Yusuf L one time. He did a show with the Devil Advocate. Gave a little bit of help. But anyway, I just want to say thanks for coming on again, for being the coach. And that's all I want to say. I don't have any questions, so now I'm just listening.
Man, appreciate you, man.
So,
Brother Dale, you said if I remember correctly, you're from Brownsville, right?
Yeah, definitely. Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Yeah. We regular caller on the vault, man. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for rocking with us.
Hey, hold on. I don't want to wake up. Say hi. Hi. Say hi, there, guys. Hi. Hello. Say hi. He's good. Say hello. Say hello. He ain't gonna say me right now.
You being shy. Shout out to the fathers, yo. Shout out to you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's big. What's up, man? Last name all day. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Salute you, Daryl, man. Thanks for calling in, man. We're gonna go to the next caller. You cool?
You're welcome. All right.
All right, man. Love you. Peace.
Love you.
Next caller, 872-5842. 872-5842. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace. What's up, brother? This is Rockefeller out of Chicago. How y'all doing today?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. Perfect. How you doing, bro?
Man, I can't complain, baby. Just listening to the knowledge and info as usual. And definitely y'all stay coming with it. So big ups to both of y'all. What's up, Yusuf? I listen to you also and appreciate the knowledge and info as well. I was wondering, because yesterday I got on to the IRS publication, and I was looking exactly what you were talking about, fringe benefits and whatnot. And there was a lot of things when they were talking about how they declare. Because I was wondering, how do you declare your benefits? Are you supposed to declare it at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year? Or is it every quarter? Entity you're working with.
Okay, there you go. I'm having trouble hearing you until that last sentence. But you talking about how do you declare benefits? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Because I was looking yesterday. They were talking about you got to declare it. I believe it said.
The declaration of your benefits will be in your employment contract that you sign with the entity, brother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you need your article of organization, an operating agreement for the corporation, corporate bylaws, sometimes a standard operating procedure, SOP, and you're going to need the employment contract that declares the benefits eligible for that, employee, whether contracted or W-2.
Gotcha. So when I'm setting myself up, and I set myself up as the CEO, it has to be in my employee contract with the entity, the LLC.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha. Then so then I'll be able, if I put the car and the home into the business entity, me as the CEO, in the by employee contract, it should state that that should be part of the business. Fits the home and the car. Am I right?
Correct. But look, you talking about the personal home or private residence?
No, I'm talking about. I want to set up everything in the business and the entity as y'all say, control everything, own nothing.
Correct. But I want to be specific. You talking about putting a private residence in a under the corporate name, a public
Correct.
company.
Yeah,
man. I mean, I would only recommend that when you're dealing with real estate investment property. If you're looking at the property as a business, you know what I mean. Otherwise, family last name property, man, that's in the family trust, man. That's private.
Tenfold. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? It could be investment. An investment is something that you're okay with losing, but you'd rather not. You'd rather just get money. But if you lose it, it's like I wish I didn't lose it, but I'm cool. I can still do my dance. And your private home, that's not an investment. That's private family wealth, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's to be controlled.
Hey, and real quick, let me interject something because I gotta get some clarification on something too. Because there were people out there, I heard they were going in on blog talks on me for saying own nothing, control everything. Own nothing and control everything is not something I said. Own nothing and control everything is a statement that was coined by Nelson Rockefeller. Okay? Nelson Rockefeller is the person that coined the phrase own nothing, control everything. There is a book that y'all can read about Nelson Rockefeller. It is called the Rockefeller Files. Called the Rockefeller Files. I'm going to put it in it's by Gary Allen, and I'll put it in, and he explains how they operate their entire estate solely through trust and foundations.
Period.
That is all they use. That's what all wealthy people use. I don't even understand why somebody would even say that. All wealthy people who are super rich, that's what they use.
Exactly.
Foundations and trust.
Yep.
Am I okay to
100%.
say that? I'm not on point, am I?
Nah, that's 100% on point.
Yeah, I want to make that clear because people say, well, Yusuf said.
Hey, so you know what? Now I'm about to break y'all a little bubble.
I got this from Nelson Rockefeller. Go
All
ahead.
right. So I'm about to. How do you feel about the Smithsonian, which is a foundation, and them creating our museum for our people? And once again, you Yusuf would say that that's a Jewish organization, and they funded a program to display what we call, or what some people call, our greatness.
I mean, I look at it the same way how the Catholic Church has, or England has almost all of the stuff coming from Egypt in there. You know, everything's found in Egypt. I mean, you know, it's just time for us to start funding our own stuff because, you know, I guess it goes into the old adage that the winners write history. So, you know, if they're funding, you know, some type of historical thing for us, then of course it's going to be from their, you know, their perception and their vantage point. So, you know, we already know if it's Jewish funded, you already know how they feel about everybody. So you know, that's the only thing I guess I could draw from that. You know, if they got the money to do it, obviously they can do it. You know, it's almost like saying, you know, when people call the Jews fake Jews, they say, well, you know, they're fake Jews, they're not really Jews. But even if that's true, which I agree with that statement, it is true. How can you say anything about it? Because you don't follow the 613 laws of the Torah. You don't have bat mitzvahs and bar mitzvahs for your children at 12 and 13 years old. You don't speak Hebrew or Yiddish as they speak it, or attempting to speak Hebrew. You don't do any of the things remotely related to, you know, what you're claiming somebody is not. So if somebody's doing something and you're not, I mean, you can talk about it, but they're the ones that are doing it because actions speak louder than words. I mean, I guess that's my point.
I agree.
That's my view on it. You know, they say, okay, they're doing it. You're not.
In the same vein, you know, in the area that I grew up, I heard a lot of, you know, Europeans saying, why don't you black people just get over slavery? You guys just get over it. And I feel like even if there wasn't slavery or there was, you know, I'm not even going to get into it, how are you going to come from a standpoint of not being a part of something or having been a part of something and tell someone else when they should get over it? You know what I mean? I think it's in the same vein. And I think we need to get up and start doing our own foundation so we can start, like you said, doing our own museums and the like. Because, you know, the way I look at that stuff, you know, with England and whatnot, man, that's just grave robbery, man. Rob graves.
You know, well, it's funny if they say why don't black people get over slavery. I mean, that came from a Jewish person told you that?
I mean, I've heard it a couple times, you know, coming up.
I mean, that's funny because it's like, damn, they keep bringing up the Holocaust every time, you know, and won't they get over the Holocaust? That's true, you know. It's like, okay, have y'all gotten over the Holocaust? You know, y'all bring up the Holocaust all the time. We can't bring up slavery. I think it was interesting. But anyway, that's my feelings on that. I just wanted to chime in and make sure that, you know, people understood where that came from. And I'll read this to you right now. It's coming out of the Rockefeller Files, and you know it says very clearly in here. It says, for 2 generations, the great fortune passed down by John D. has been fractionated. And it says about this period, however, the picture of the family's growing financial might becomes more murky. The Rockefellers began hiding their wealth from the public and the tax collector, because the taxes are public law, in trust and foundations, as reported in the Washington Post. For 2 generations, the great fortune passed down by John D. has been fractionated and made more complex by increasing layers of trust and closely held companies where no public reports are required, non-volunteered, and all inquiries politely rebuffed. The Rockefellers invented a scheme used by the super rich today, whereby the more money you appear to give away, the richer or more powerful you become. Through the help of captive politicians, guided by some bright boys in the family law offices, legislation was written and passed which would protect the Rockefellers and other elite super rich from the repressive taxation they have foisted on everyone else. The key to the system is, and here it is, the key to the system is giving up ownership but retaining control. For example, most people don't believe that they really own something unless they retain title to it in their own name. The Rockefellers know this is a big mistake. Often it is better to have your assets owned by a trust or a foundation which you control than to have them in your own name. Now, I hope that I have this clear, okay, because you can just Google own nothing and control everything and you'll find out who coined that phrase, because it's in Google. But I wanted to make that clear that, and I know that you know a lot about foundations, and this is, and the more that I study this particular subject, and when I read these paragraphs right here, the more I'm understanding exactly how the super rich are retaining their privacy, retaining their wealth, because their wealth does not go to taxes. A lot of people get mad because they don't pay any taxes. Well, do what in Rome, do what the Romans do.
Right.
You know, that's all I'm saying. When I say own nothing, control everything, all I'm saying is this is what the super wealthy do. Do what they do. If you do what I do, you will get what I get. That's called the law of cause and effect. Do what I do, and you'll get what I get. And then there's another principle. Who do you listen to? Are you going to listen to someone who doesn't have any money to tell you how to acquire wealth? Or are you going to listen to someone who has wealth and let them tell you how to acquire wealth. The wealthy say own nothing and control everything. Poor people want to put things in their name. So it just basically boils down to, well, what do you want to do? I didn't create any of this. This has been put in place for the last 100 years when all these laws came into place. So I wanted to make that clear. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. And then, the other avenue is exactly what they're using is foundation. Man. These are charitable entities. So how you going to get more money, make more money by giving it away? And, we're going to do another foundation show. I'm going to talk about gifts. With regards to the gift tax exclusion, as well as donations and charitable donations, and that's where it gets fun and interesting when you're doing with wealth management, wealth accumulation, and wealth investment. So yeah, man, it's definitely a wealth vehicle, and it's something that's used to own nothing and control everything. The basic principle. You know what I'm saying? Brother Rock, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
Yeah, you had some background noise, so we needed you out, man. Do you have any other questions, man? You good?
No, I'm good on that one. You set me straight, man. Gratitude.
No problem, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. It's all love.
Yes, sir.
Peace to the guys.
Yep.
Next caller, 504-5993. 504-5993. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace. This Eddie Love. Hey,
Eddie Love, man.
check this out. Okay, man. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Checking y'all brothers out as usual. Okay. Say you got. Okay, my wife. She does a 1099 and she do a 1040, but she want to know how can she put it in trust. And then okay. That's one question. And then say, all right, I'm about to get out of here, right? And the capacity I'm leaving is as secured party credit, and I got a pure trust set up. Now, I don't know how to use. I know how to use it I know how to use it a little bit, but I'm saying I get out of here. I know that's not my objective is to get a job or work, but I got to do something when I get out. You know what I'm saying? So I was saying, like, if I had to get a job and had to work for somebody for a little while until I can do what I really want to do, how do I utilize that, like with the taxes and, the employer and working for somebody? You see what I'm trying to say?
Not really. Say it again,
though. Let's say I get a job, right? Or working for somebody. Couldn't I do that through the trust?
Yeah.
No. From listening to what you're saying, first of all, people got to understand, you work a job, you're in the public, okay?
Right.
All right? You don't want to taint your trust with anything from the public, all right? You could put income after it has been taxed into your trust, but you cannot put income before it has been taxed into your trust because that tax liability is going to carry over into the trust. Okay? So the thing about it is when you're talking about being private, okay, the number one thing that you really need to be thinking about and concerned with is not using the Social Security number. Okay? That's number one. The Social Security number is tracked, and it is a U.S. person, it is domestic, and it is subject to taxation. Okay? The reason that you have a tax is because the United States government is the one that is basically facilitating the commerce, or the overseers of everything. That's what you're paying them for. You're paying them for a service. All right? The word private means something that the government is not involved in. The government has no association with it whatsoever. You don't need the government. You're not using them for anything. Therefore, there's no tax associated with it. That's why tax laws are public law. Okay, they're not private. Tax law is a public law. It's on the public side of the ledger. So if you want to be, and all of this stuff is about retaining wealth using foundations and trusts. Essentially, at the end of the day, you're trying to build wealth. You're trying to build something for your family, all right, so they don't have to start over or anything like that, your children, putting something up for your children and so forth. So you working a job, okay, and you trying to, I don't really understand what, I understand what Solel was talking about. You don't really understand what you're talking about, but I know because I've heard this question so many different times before, is people trying to retain jobs. Really, at the end of the day, you need to have a business. All this, the United States is set up for businesses. That's what it's set up for. It is not set up, the tax laws are set up for the advantage of business owners. It is not set up for the advantage of people who have jobs. It's just not. I mean, you can go listen to Robert Kiyosaki and he'll tell you that. The laws are set up for you if you have a business, the tax laws. When you say a pure trust, okay, I'm going to tell you what that means to me. First of all, you have the word pure, which means unadulterated. That's what the word pure means. It means unadulterated. It means you haven't tainted it with anything. A pure trust means that the settlor was not a United States citizen. It means the trustees are not United States citizens. It means what is in the trust corpus is not property of the United States. And it also means that the beneficiaries are not United States citizens. That's the only way that it can be a pure trust. You call it pure. Okay? It's not tainted by anything. Not from the settlor or the trustor or the creator of the trust. Not from the trustees who have contracted and been appointed to administer the trust. Not the property that is present within the trust. And also any distributions that are coming out of the trust to the beneficiaries in which the trust was set up for. That would be what's called pure. Okay, when they say this word pure. Okay, pure means unadulterated. It's not tainted with anything. Public and private do not mix. So for you to have a pure private trust is what it should be called. Okay, you're not going to have any of those components. Because if you have public trustees, there may be a tax. If you have a settlor who is at domestic and he has income going into the trust or property going into the trust that was domestic coming out of the United States, it's going to be subject to a tax. If you have property in the trust that is in the public, it's probably going to be subject to some sort of tax. And if the beneficiaries are U.S. citizens, any distribution that is coming to them will probably be subject to a tax, depending on what the trustees determine as income, because the trustees can determine what is income coming out of the trust. So these are the things you got to be acutely aware of when you're dealing with a trust, because what you're really concerned with is taxes. That's what all this is about, private. Everything in the public is about taxes. Criminal cases are about taxes. Traffic tickets is a tax. They're called a charge. When you look up when you go and look up the word tax in a Black's Law Dictionary, people should just really look this up and study this word and see what a tax is. A tax is a charge or a lien on property. What the definition of a tax is. Because a lot of people got a misconception about what a tax actually is. So, you need to check that word out and get a thorough understanding of what a tax is. You need to have a thorough understanding of public and private, because tax law is public law. You need to understand what minimum contacts are, and you also need to understand what form versus substance is, because that is what the IRS goes by. Okay, they go by form versus substance. All right, they don't care about the formation of the trust. What they care about is the substance of the transactions that the trust enters into. And if you are an employee of a public corporation with a social security number that is earning income from that particular entity, there's going to be a tax associated with it. Okay? And I got that to just be completely because I know a lot of people are looking for ways to circumvent. I'm just going to be straight up. Like the people who taught me about trust, what they said was, if you're not wealthy and you don't have any assets, really, none of this stuff really is for you. Okay, and there's some differences of opinion on that. I have a difference of opinion on that, but I really do understand what they're saying, because if you're not financially in a position where you can take care of yourself, that's what privacy is all about. Privacy is the ability to take care of yourself. You don't need any outside help from anyone. You don't need a job, to subsist off of. You're able to do it on your own. That's what privacy is. If you have to utilize the government or anything in the public in any kind of way, then you are dependent. And that's what all this stuff that happened in 1933 was about. It was about making everybody more dependent on government. And that's why you have big government today. You have big government today because everybody is dependent on them. And if everybody's dependent upon them, that's why the number one thing that everybody is concerned with is taxes, because taxes are there to pay the government for their services. That's what that is government services. You paying the government because they are providing a service to you. It's just like anything. It's like going into the restaurant, ordering food, and not trying to. And then they have a gratuity. It's it's like a 10% gratuity that's automatically included with every meal that you're with. That's what you're dealing with when you go to the federal government. When you step into their restaurant and order anything off of their menu, automatically inclusive with that is a gratuity anywhere from 10 to 33%. That is automatically added to to every transaction. So the thing about why we do things like currency circulator and things like that is we're trying to get people acclimated to starting and running and operating their own business first. And, and that takes you to a stage where, number one, you learn how to incorporate yourself. What kind of entity are you going to select? Your business credit. Okay, how do I get and obtain business? And all of these things can be done for just a fraction. You can do everything I'm about to tell you right now, you can do for under $200 or $300. The first three steps, incorporating yourself, getting a bank account, getting an EIN number, obtaining a DUNS number, getting business credit, and building a website for yourself, to get yourself up and running. Okay? These are things you can learn how to do in a short period of time, as well as the fact it won't be a heavy outlay of cash to learn how to do it. You got to learn how to start doing business for yourself and operating as a business for yourself. And that also requires you to change the way that you think as well. But just to think that you're going to get a trust, and I know there are people out there that are promoting all of this, and I don't understand why, but to think that you can still work a job and somehow still kind of maintain some sort of privacy, I'm not really understanding it. I don't think I've really, I haven't seen anybody really explain that to me in a way that really makes sense.
I wasn't speaking from that sense.
Hold on, let him say. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was saying like what he was saying earlier, like when you're in transition and you can't just go, from, you can't go straight from public straight to private. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the point where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is, right, I hear you on that. So what I'm saying is that's why, the next show, maybe on the next Commerciavelli series, so I'll speak about the gift and the donation exclusions, because just real off the top of my head, like you can gift up to $14,000 a year from W-2 income that is excluded from federal income taxes, the 1040. So even as a W-2 employee, just by using that $14,000 exclusion, you can start to fund your family trust or your private trust. What I was going to say, I yield to Yusuf because like he be dropping bombs. I was just saying, like, not working a job. I was thinking more along the lines of organizing and administering a corporation. I was just saying if you had an unincorporated business trust, that trust is a person that could contract as an executive for the company. And, the wages from the company or the income from the company to the trust would be, income to the trust and not to, the social. But you're not going to get a job, like a W-2 job, trying to put trust information down. I doubt it. And I think that's what you were saying, right?
Yeah. More on the lines.
So can I make a point? So.
Yes, sir.
All right. Look, look, brother. At the end of the day, you're just like a premature baby. Okay, a premature baby comes out. They might not. They're still breathing, but they're not fully developed. You're in an incubator right now. That's why you see a lot of these companies. They call them incubator companies. They go out. They help companies grow. So you might. I'm not telling you go out and get a job. I'm not telling you that. But the incubator means you're getting knowledge before you know how to use it. Just like Yusuf said, our teachers will tell you, don't be giving this information away for $45, giving it away for free. These guys have spent $10,000. They're selling trusts for $10,000 to $20,000. Facts. I have sold to verify my mentor, and Yusuf has his mentors that he's dealt with, and these gentlemen have sold trusts for $20,000. So then we come along with our people, and they want the brother or sister discount. I have no problem with that, brother or sister. We're going to make sure y'all get the discount. But even still, you will not get this information if you don't pay for it. You're not getting around that. The information is not just sitting in the public for you. You have to find someone that knows the private information. So, once again, brothers and sisters, if you're not going to keep paying to play and keep paying to play and keep paying to play and getting the knowledge and getting around the people that you need to learn how to administer your vehicle and maintain privacy, because that's the game, is maintaining privacy. And if you think that you're not going to have to spend any money, because it's not spending, it's investing on the private side. So you've been programmed to spending on the public. On the private side, it's investing. So you'd be investing in your private education. This information is not given away lightly. It's not given away for even $3,000. That's just real talk, brothers and sisters. My mentor ain't out advertising his business, so I don't know how you're going to meet him. You got to meet them face to face. It's like, come on, brothers and sisters. And these guys have diversified portfolios. They're not just, they need to sell you a trust. They're past that level. So it's like, brothers and sisters, you get some information, you got to take your time with it. You ain't going to just be able to hop out the gate and be like, let me hop on this thing. I'm telling you straight up, yes, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars to get to a level of, all right, I have a good understanding. Because thousands of dollars might even be your time. You investing your time is money. And that time is going to cost. And so, yes, real talk, it's going to cost some thousands. It ain't going to be no hundreds. It's going to be some thousands. I can tell y'all that right now. So when you say, I want to get a job and put it in a trust, it's just like, brother, like, this is entrepreneurship on the private side. That's all it is.
Right. Because, from the standpoint of a corporation, an employee of the corporation, that's, that thousands of dollars, that Sharif brings up could be an educational expense that's excluded, and that's why I stress heavily, like, start your own corporation, even if you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't selling nothing, you ain't buying nothing. Just start it and get it, standing on the 4 legs, at least the 3 legs. You need at least 3 legs, otherwise, you know what I'm saying? And get it standing, and then start building the business credit profiles. It's the stuff that you already buying, like toilet paper, dish soap, the toilet bowl cleaner, the brooms. You know what I'm saying? Your trash liners, your trash bags. And it's a way better deal. You get way more for just a little bit more than what you're paying for at the consumer level. Not even playing with you. And you can't even do that from the standpoint of an individual. So I hear what you're saying, brother. I just understand. I know you're going to keep moving forward, brother Eddie Love. And I know that you're going to continue to invest in your private education. So I just want to say, man, if you about to do your dance, you know what I'm saying, and mosey on out of them, you know what I'm saying, then I would just be, man, put your mind on opening a business, man, and doing something creative and doing something that you're a producer, that you're in control of. And you start small, and it builds up. Some people already got skills. Like some people, I was a CPA. I'm gonna go start my own CPA firm. That's pretty easy if you're a CPA already. But like if you're trying to move into something, necessarily that may take a little more time. But I always tell you and everyone to look at what you're already doing. Look at what you already know. Look at the skills that you already have, the hobbies that you like, so on and so forth. And you'd be surprised, really, giving yourself some credit, what business you can start, just on the side and start building it up to where it's making money. So it's paying for that cell phone bill. So it's paying for the toilet paper. So it's paying for the dish soap. And then sit back and be like, look, my business is paying my cell phone bill and paying for my toilet paper and my dish soap. Can't nobody tell me nothing right now because you doing it. I don't care. Like, there's no competition. No matter what Soap's doing, Yusuf's doing, Sharif, nobody. It don't matter what nobody's doing. It matter what you doing and how you feel about what you're doing. And is it adding to what you're doing and what you're out here for, to your last name? You know what I'm saying? We're in the same boat. But just, start an LLC, follow the proper steps, and just start moving, brother. That's what I would say.
And if I could
in your education.
If I could add on to that, starting a business is really not that difficult. It's in my experience, if people would just do the foundational steps, and that's why like I said, we did in Currency Circulator. It's like, okay, think of a name for your business. Think what you want to do, because there's something that everybody wants to do. Okay, think of a name for your business. Then you can immediately go and get a EIN number for it. Go and register it with the Secretary of State. LLC is an Articles of Organization. You don't want to do an Articles of Incorporation because it's a little bit more difficult. But Articles of an Organization is a one-paragraph document that basically says you're starting an LLC. That's all it is. Name who the officers of the corporation are. And there's another form that you put with it. It's a transmittal form that goes with it, and that's it. And now you got yourself a company. You got an EIN number. The next step is go to the bank and open up a bank account. And, there's some other things we can inject in there too, but essentially that is it. And then once you got all those things in place, it has been my experience that's when other things start coming to you to help the business start to formulate. You put yourself a website together and things like that. It's like if you can just start the first couple of steps, all of the it's kind of like driving down a highway where your headlights are on and you can only see far up the road where the headlights are. But as you're driving along, you see more and more roads. So if you take the first couple of steps, which are very simple and inexpensive steps, and get those completed, what else will happen is that other part of the road will start to appear in front of you. And that's what we try to get people to understand and realize. It doesn't take a lot of great skills. I got friends who have not finished high school, live in $5 million houses. They didn't finish high school. So it's like, this is something that's very simple, and we're trying to expose our people to. One other thing is, we used to use the exclusion, the $14,000 exclusion in the gifting clubs. So I know a lot about that exclusion. It's publication 950 goes into it pretty in depth. It's a thing called IRS publication. I think it's IRS publication 950. And you can Google that, and you can read about that gift exclusion. I'm glad you said that because I didn't think about it. I forgot all about that gift exclusion. But we used to do that extensively in gifting clubs, that $14,000 exclusion. So that is, I think he just gave you a very, very good jewel to assist you in at least starting to build your wealth up, using that instead of that money going to, into the tax man, you can start, gifting it or donating it. I think that's right. Is that right, Saul?
The form, the 950.
Yeah, I think it's IRS publication 950.
Yeah, it's the estate and gift tax form. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it talks about the exclusion. Okay, sorry. All right, but that was good, man. That was real good. That was good. I learned something. I learned something tonight.
Oh man, yeah. You say you already knew though.
Well, I knew about the exclusion, but I didn't think to apply it like you just said. You know, I knew about it, but I didn't think of it in those terms. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Gifted to the trust, man. Come on, every year, straight up, you and your wife. That's $28,000 a year, man. That's on the low end, you know. That's dope. Eddie, you there, brother? Eddie Love, man. I know you got to dip sometimes. You good? You probably out of here. Commerciavelli fringe benefits, y'all. Like, take advantage of these. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I said, man, you know, we got company vehicles, we got health savings accounts, education assistance, child care assistance, cell phones, did I say that? And meals, the Minimus. That can go a long way. And it's a strong way to start moving forward and arranging your commercial affairs, which will give you room and air to breathe to get your private estate in order. And that's the foundation. And, you know, trust y'all catch us next week, next Wednesday, same time, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be going in next week. I don't even know, but it's still going to be a Commerciavelli series. You know, hopefully Sharif stops by, Yusuf L stops by. Currency Circulator, man, I'm really digging that. You should check it out, CurrencyCirculator.com. It's just a way to, you know, not only educate yourself, but at the end of the education, you know, have the startup capital to not only invest in a real estate investment trust, but, you know, get started on your own business. Make sure you check that out. HFRN Foundation at gmail.com if you want to hit me up with regards to, you know, the topic at hand. This is only the second show, and I'm very humbled by the amount of callers live, very humbled by the interaction, very humbled by the guests. Sharif, Yusuf, if y'all got anything y'all want to say before I close out? You good, Sharif?
Yeah, man, I think it was a good episode, you know, when you're talking about the fringe benefits. It's just interesting. Like, I would love for anybody in his audience that is using this type of lifestyle to press 1 and to conversate with us right now and let us know that you have your cell phone and your company name or your vehicle and your company. These are kind of like small things. Even living on your company premises, you know, I think that's a big deal. You know, your house bill is a pretty big bill for most people in their budget, you know. So for individuals not to have that established, that's a major educational curve that we're not winning in. And the way we can start winning in that is by educating ourselves on these things. And so, you know, I'm really happy that you talked about the benefits, you know, because our people really needed to hear them tonight. You all, this is one of the benefits of Get Money 101.
Exactly. We need to get our foundation, our feet square, so, you know, you can reach over there, make sure you didn't lose your footing, and jump as high as you want, so on and so forth. I can make a lot of metaphors. I'm not even going to really get into that. But highfrequencyradionetwork.com, seriously, plethora of information. Get your mind right and get your education up. Check out CurrencyCirculator.com and, you know, welcome to the vault.com. Sharif work hard on that website. Make sure you tune in every day. You know, we'll be having programs usually every day. You know, my favorite is Open Forum Friday. But we got the Vault on Tuesday also. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have the foundation every Wednesday. Appreciate y'all checking us out, man. Once again, it's love. You know, stay hungry. Know that you can do it. And take the first step. And then worry about the second one when you get there. I love y'all. Peace.
On this thing all the way live.
High frequency radio.